Hello and welcome to the Geeks Review. I'm Royce. I'm a writer, creator of The Misadventures of Agnetha Deveaux, as well as Lion Goats, a cowboy and western adventure. And today I'm joined by...
Oh, I am Liz. I play Agnetha. I'm also a giant nerd. I've done some theatre and stand-up comedy in my life, but mainly I just like to watch stuff. I have no life.
And you brought two films for us to watch today.
Yes, I have two obscure gems from my childhood, and they are obscure, just like me.
The first of which is Foul Play, which is a comedy thriller film released in 1978, written and directed by Colin Higgins, who directed 9 to 5. Foul Play stars Goldie Hawn as Gloria Mundy, a recently divorced librarian dragged into an international conspiracy. The film co-stars Chevy Chase, Burgess Meredith and Dudley Moore.
So I don't remember the first time I ever saw this film in full, but growing up I just remember scenes from it that I loved, and I asked Mum, I can't remember, years ago, because I've been watching it in full for like a good decade or two now. I'm old. She told me, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to look that up. And so I looked it up and fell in love with it all over again, putting those scenes in context. Like the one scene that I remember as a kid is the two old ladies playing Scrabble.
Yes.
Where Gloria's been kidnapped and she's she's trying to escape on the fire escape. It's pouring with rain and she's rapping on these little old ladies' window and they can't hear, and they're just having this wonderful chat, and they're putting. So this is where the comedy bleep would come in, and they're just putting down obscene words while playing Scrabble, and it was just the most random thing I've ever seen as a kid, and I'm like, this is amazing. There's just something so hilarious and endearing about a sweet little old lady swearing her head off. I absolutely love it, and it usually ends up being my favourite scene in a movie. Well, it's Goldie Hawn, and who doesn't love Goldie Hawn? But also it's Goldie Hawn dropping a midget Bible salesman out a window, and Dudley Moore in a sex dungeon.
Oh, yes.
And that's you. Again.
Those are the three scenes which really stood out.
Yep. I also love Gloria's friend Stella.
Yes.
Yeah. She's just, I didn't know this, but it was probably my foray into feminism. Abso-freaking-lutely. Just Stella with her tight little white, like, Jufro, and she's there with freaking brass knuckles. He's like, they make a grab for your tits, crunch, right in the nuts. And it's just some of the lines, the words of advice that she gives Gloria. Weirdos everywhere, get them before they get you. And I think my favourite one is when she finally gives her, because for those who don't know, Stella has this handbag full of, it's got mace, it's got what she calls the screamer. It's this little box and you pull a string and this wicked loud alarm goes off, and a set of brass knuckles. And she gives them to Gloria and she's like, take these, because without them you are a walking light bulb waiting to be screwed. And Stella will probably forever be one of my role models from my childhood, which explains a lot. I forgot where I was going with that, but
well, I mean, to set out the plot, this is it is a caper film. She gets dragged into this conspiracy, and there's a lot of like red herrings and like bait and switch. Like you think, oh, there's going to be a killer snake, but no, the snake's actually a pet.
Yep.
Albino, and you think, oh, he's just going to be, her boss or something, but no, he's the actual bad guy.
Yeah.
And the Bible salesman.
Yes, the dwarf is actually a pseudonym, for. Oh, spoiler alert. The dwarf is not actually a dwarf, but it starts off with Gloria driving back from a party with the dulcet tones of Barry Manilow playing. Barry Manilow does the soundtrack. This is also a selling point for me when I try and sell it to people. Do you like Barry Manilow? And, she picks up a hitchhiker because her friend at the party had just told her, you need to get out more since the divorce. Goldie Hawn's character, she's recently divorced, and they're like, get out more, be a woman, show some cleavage, have some fun. And so she takes this risk and picks up a a hitchhiker who turns out to be an undercover cop. And he ends up leaving a packet of cigarettes that has a film reel in it with evidence on it in her possession, and makes a date with her at a movie theatre to get it back because he's currently being followed by the bad guys. And so she meets him at the movie theatre. He is, dying. He's just been stabbed and he dies on her. And it sort of hijinks ensues from there.
Hijinks indeed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this was the first film to feature Dudley Moore, first American film, before Arthur. And yeah, that's a really long scene in his dungeon.
Oh, it is.
With Staying Alive playing.
It's amazing. So, okay, to put that in context, the albino shows up at Gloria's work. Gloria works at a library and he starts chasing her. And so she's running and she ducks into the first bar, which just happens to be a singles bar. And she sits down opposite Dudley Moore's character and basically says, "Take me home with you." And he's like, "What? You look like Dudley Moore and you've got someone who looks like Goldie Hawn saying, 'Take me home with you.'" It's like, you're going to do it. Yeah. And so she's quite pushy about getting to his place immediately. So he's thinking, yeah, I'm lucky. And so they get into the apartment, and while she's sort of looking out the window, scoping out and making sure she's not being followed and watching the albino and what he's doing, he's preparing his little, like there are hidden doors. Like he opens a cupboard and this, satin bed pops down with a mirror. Yeah. And he opens a cupboard and there's blow up dolls and and he's got a bar and an old piano. And so, yeah, the whole time when she's looking out the window, he's preparing the environment, and she turns around and is like, "What the?"
And then the blow-up dolls are just floating all over the place.
Yeah, like, why would he put helium in blow-up dolls? I don't know, but it works.
Yeah.
And I just love her reaction to it. At first, it's all, what the hell is going on? But then she's like, oh my God, I had no idea that there was such diversity. She's just fascinated by all these bits of equipment. And he's, in the meantime, wearing white boxes with red love hearts and just trying to hide everything again. Yeah, and the whole time this is going on, Staying Alive by the Bee Gees is playing.
Yeah.
On his
hilarious
quadraphonic speakers. Yeah, just and if people still aren't convinced to watch the movie after my description of that and saying that its soundtrack is by Barry Manilow, I'll actually go on YouTube and be like, you need to watch this film, and I will show them that scene.
Yes.
And they will just be like, I have no idea what's going on here. I need to watch this movie to put it in context.
Oh, definitely. I can see how, you were younger and you had all these scenes just sticking out.
Yeah.
And the rest of the plot. There's silliness throughout the plot.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Lots of
out.
wordplay. Yeah. It's
like the random weird cowboy who just keeps saying far out during the chase scene. Little things. Yeah, the whole movie's ridiculous and I love every single minute of it.
I really liked it, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was getting into. And
you never do. You never do.
No, it was, I'm definitely going to hang on to it.
Yeah.
Keep watching it whenever I have a chance.
And even, just little lines as well, like little one-liners that you sort of don't even notice.
There's a lot of rewatchability, like I said. There's just so many things you're mentioning. I missed that.
Yeah.
And I need to go back and watch that.
Like basically, because, spoiler alert, Chevy Chase's love interest. But they actually meet first up in that first scene at the party when he hits on her. And her first line to him is just gold. He says something offensive and she's sort of on edge and he goes, I'm sorry, we seem to have gotten off on the wrong foot. And she just quick as anything goes, and it seems to be in your mouth.
Exactly. Yes.
Just, I love little things like that.
Oh, yeah. It's really clever. Unfortunately, it's not available to watch anywhere.
No, it's not. I acquired a copy.
Yes, legally.
But yeah, I remember it was on TV a few times and we had it taped off TV. And then
it feels like, it'd be...
Yeah, it's just
Channel
one of
7,
those...
midday.
One of those movies that came out and people forgot about.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Yeah, before we know it, there'll probably be a remake. Hey.
God, I hope not. They remade... See, as problematic as it is, because I'm a massive Goldie Hawn fan and a massive Kurt Russell fan, I want to be in a throuple with them. I really do. And my mum was also a huge Kurt Russell fan. So I grew up watching Kurt Russell movies, and in turn Goldie Hawn movies. But they did a remake of Overboard.
Oh, yes.
And I loved that movie growing up. I recognise now as the strong feminist, I recognise, yes, it's problematic. I don't care. I still love it.
Oh, yeah. You're allowed that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I know they've made a remake with
Anna Faris,
who I absolutely adore. But I just don't think I can bring myself to watch it.
No.
Not when the first one, to me, is so perfect.
I really need to catch up on that one. I have seen Cactus Flower with Goldie Hawn and Walter Matthau. Came out a few years before.
Oh, my God.
It's on Foxtel.
Yeah.
I saw it a few months ago. And, yeah, it's not as silly as Foul Play.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's really good. And I think you'll love it.
Yeah, I reckon I love Walter Matthau. I also grew up watching Grumpy Old Men.
Yes.
And Burgess Meredith was in Grumpy Old Men.
He was,
played,
yes.
Anything that man does is gold. Like, because he was getting towards the end of his life. I'm pretty sure he's dead. He was almost dead when he did those films.
Oh, he was... I mean, he was the Penguin in the 60s, and that was 50 years ago.
Yeah, he's quite old. But actually, that might have been the catalyst for me watching Foul Play, because I thought the Burgess Meredith's character in Grumpy Old Men was just the funniest. His outtakes are just... Because they've got the outtakes in the credits.
Yes.
It's just so funny. And Mum's like, oh, that's Burgess Meredith. And I reckon she's probably gone and shown me Foul Play, actually. Oh, it's all coming back.
But yeah, that's Foul Play with Goldie Hawn. Check it out if you can.
Please do. Please do. I think you might be able to buy it on YouTube.
Yes, you can, yeah.
Like, if you're really desperate to watch it, just pay the money. It's worth it. It's funny as
yeah, if you like those
hell.
old caper films, old comedy films from the 70s, if you like Goldie Hawn, definitely check it out.
And also, it's before Chevy Chase started to get funny looking, and he's a babe. He's a 70s stud in it.
He is quite handsome in this, I will say.
He's got the hair, he's got the hole in his chin, he's wearing the 70s cop gear.
That's how he got Eartha Kitt. It's a Community reference.
I haven't gotten up to Chevy Chase in Community.
Yeah.
Although he's
in the first few seasons, yeah. So he's there from the beginning.
Oh God, it's been so long since I've watched it, and I probably slept through most of it. Nothing against Community. It's just as soon as I'm on the couch and the lighting's a little bit low, I fall asleep. I'm out.
You got a second film you want to talk about.
Oh, yes.
This is Bullshot. It's a 1983 British parody film based on the stage play Bullshot Crummond.
Which is also amazing, and you can watch it all on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, sweet.
It's freaking amazing, and it's got the best example of onstage, mid-scene, not just costume changes, complete character changes.
Yeah.
The guy who plays the Nemesis, Otto von Brunau.
Yep.
He's literally having a conversation with another character also played by him. And there is a screen in the middle of the stage.
Yeah.
And he just goes backwards and forwards behind this screen. And I'm like, how the heck does he change costumes that quickly while having a conversation with himself?
Jeez.
And I was gobsmacked. Anyway, sorry. Continue introducing.
Yeah, it's a bombastic riff I wrote of pulp hero Bulldog Drummond.
Yes,
sorry.
it is. Yeah,
and he's part that character. He's part Biggles, James Bond, and like Sherlock Holmes rolled into one. Complete insanity.
Oh yeah. That's the only way to describe it.
I will say the only cast members I did recognise were Mel Smith and Billy Connolly.
Yep. The rest of them are.
They were
I've
from
no
the
idea.
stage thing, I think.
They were, except for Binky.
Yep.
In the original stage show, a guy called Mark Blankfield, who's worked with Mel Brooks a lot.
Oh, yeah.
He plays Blinken out of Robin Hood Men in Tights, and he plays Martin, the sanitarium attendant in Dracula Dead and Loving It.
Yeah.
He actually played about 6 different roles in the stage show.
Wow.
And also had the role of that Binky character. Yes. I wish he would have been in that movie because he does some of the most amazing examples of slapstick comedy in one of those scenes.
And that's on YouTube, isn't it?
That's all on YouTube, free to watch.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So that's Bullshot
Bullshot
Crummin.
Yes. Yeah.
But as for the film, yes, there's slapstick, there's wordplay, there's double entendre, there's everything like that, and
literally everything. And it's just, I blame my uncle. Now, I don't know if you noticed in the beginning credits, one of the executive producers
is George Harrison.
George Harrison.
Yep, of the Beatles.
Now, my uncle is, not only is he a massive British comedy fan, he introduced me to Monty Python. He's also the biggest Beatles fan I've ever come in contact with, my uncle. And not only does he have everything Beatles that's ever been brought out in every format. He's got vinyls, he's got laser discs, he's got just all sorts of stuff. He's also got every single solo project that sort of the four members have done. Even going down to collecting all of the handmade films. Because George Harrison sat on the board for it. And therefore was an executive producer of Bullshot. And so that was literally the only reason I saw it, is because...
Just because of that?
Yeah, because of that. I know how I saw it, because Uncle Stu, back in the 80s and 90s, it's going to get him in trouble, because he was the tech man in our family. So he had two VCRs, and he would rent a video and tape it. And I wanted to watch the Indiana Jones films. And so he had two videos. One had Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark, followed by Temple of Doom. And the second video had Last Crusade, and after that was Bullshot. And so it just
rolled on.
And I'm like, oh, what is this? And I just, absolutely loved it. From the first scene, the very first scene where you meet Bullshot Crummin, my favourite scene in the entire film, is there in the trenches. You know, there are these three young soldiers trying to light a cigarette. He just comes, sauntering up. It's like, have any of you ever heard the term 3 on a match? And they're like, no. And so he starts to light their cigarette. And he goes, when you first strike the match, he only sees the flame. So he lights one cigarette. On the second, he takes aim, lights the second cigarette. And on the third, he fires, lights the third cigarette, and next minute, the guy just gets shot. But Bullshot just goes, carry on, and walks away like everything's normal, and the other two are just like, dude just got shot.
And dude is Nicholas Lyndhurst from Only Fools and Horses.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was a few years after that began. I knew him from my childhood, from Goodnight Sweetheart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it was Rodders. Plonker. I really like the scene where it's probably about halfway through where they go to a hotel out in the countryside. Yes. And he opens up his briefcase and there's a giant tarantula.
Oh, a tarantula! Daddy uses those in his experiments all the time. You can paralyze them by putting talcum powder on their backs.
So he starts trying to shoot it.
Yes!
Cut to downstairs in the dining room and the bullets are coming through the ceiling.
Some maniac is shooting at us.
And then he doesn't realise it's him himself.
Yeah.
And he's running around like a madman trying
to find where the shots came from room 26, but that's my room. And then he goes. One thing I loved about that scene is when he's checking the trajectory of the bullets, he's just holding the gun, a loaded gun, towards his face. Just like, he's an idiot.
Oh, yeah.
But my favourite thing about, especially the character of Bullshot, is just how he says things that completely ridiculous, but makes so much sense to him. Like when he shoots the pheasant.
Yes.
And Binky's, while he's looking at Binky in the face, he shoots the pheasant over his shoulder. Yeah. And Binky's like, how did you do that? He's like, what is it? By rapidly calculating the angle of elevation and the reflection of your monocle, I simply just subtracted the refractive index of the lens, placed myself on a complementary axis and fired. There's no challenge at all. And when they're driving to the Whippet Inn in the countryside, they've just picked up Billy Connolly's character. And, they pass another car and he sort of goes, "Did you see that?" First off, Billy Connolly's character goes, "Nope." Billy Connolly's character is blind. And he's just like, what is it? It's something like an off-duty cab driven in a westerly direction, going in a westerly direction, driven by a man with no ears. Of course. Okay. Yep. What conclusion could you have possibly reached?
It's a lot of nonsense.
Yes.
It's fun.
Oh, and the phrase, "I bet you a halfpenny bun to a pound of dried bananas." Why? How? I don't even care. I love it.
Yeah, it's really creative and inventive and really a really sharp parody of those British heroes for sure.
Yeah. I love the fact that every single member of, the Royal Loamshires, that he meets has some sort of injury caused by Crumman, like Billy Connolly's character. "Surely you're not Hawkeye, McGillicuddy." "Yes, sir, till you sent me down that rabbit hole to see if the ammunition was live. They gave me a medal for it, sir."
And the guy was run over by the tank.
Yes. Yeah. So, or the guy you meet who's like the maitre d' at the restaurant. And it's like, "Remember that time you started the engine while I was still checking the oil?" Sticky moment, sir. With his little stump hand. It's just, and Lenya, she's just that cliche, evil French vamp. Femme fatale, just amazing. And I do like the line during the laughing scene when they're in the restaurant and he's like, "Act natural." And they start laughing and Rosemary's character just goes off on this insane laugh. Halfway through that long insane laugh, it just cuts to Lenya and she just sort of goes, "Evidently the handsome captain is also humorous." Just little things. Even the way that when you first see Rosemary, the way she's riding her bicycle, how she's sort of, it looks completely normal. You just see this head going past a hedge, pretty young woman on a bicycle, and then she comes out from the hedge and the way she's sitting, how she's curved her back it's almost like Kim Kardashian sticking out booty, the way she's riding. And how she walks into her father's laboratory and knocks over something and he's like, "I've told you never to do that. That's how we lost Mummy." And just everything about that is just gold and people need to watch it.
But yeah, unfortunately, it's not available.
Not available. I've got it on DVD. I forgot where I got it.
Oh, but
I know I got it.
It's probably in some bargain bin somewhere, hey?
It might be. I might have got mine off eBay. eBay is usually a pretty good place to get.
Yeah, I don't even know if you can rent it on YouTube. But yeah, I mean, this is based off a play, but how similar is it to the play?
It's pretty similar.
So I guess people could just watch it on YouTube for free and get an idea.
Yeah, you definitely get an idea. The play's quite long, obviously, because plays are usually longer than a film. And I do think that the ridiculousness is even more amped up in the movie because they could.
Yeah, they had the freedom to do so, yeah.
I like them both for different reasons. Again, the pacing of the movie is quicker. Just the guest stars there. Billy Connolly, Mel Smith, just... For someone who has barely any lines, Mel Smith steals pretty much every scene he's in, just with his reactions to... And the line, meddling fool of an Englishman will soon be out of my hair. And just that look that Mel Smith gives the bald head of the man who's just said that. But yeah, the stage show definitely has some freaking gold moments. And yeah, really good examples of slapstick and some impressive costume changes. But I would say that I probably do prefer the movie, but I saw that first, so I'm maybe a bit biased.
Well, yeah, check out those clips on YouTube and maybe you can wrangle yourself a DVD somehow.
eBay.
Anyway, thank you for listening to the Geeks Review today. Check out those films if they both sound interesting, if you can. I'm Royce.
And I am Liz.
And we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Bye.